Hi, my name is Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about the Renters' Bill reform. Now the reason I'm talking about the Renters' Bill reform today is because the Queen has recently done a speech. The Queen has done a speech on the Renters' Bill reform saying that there's going to be a reform to the rental sector in autumn 2021. So we're expecting it to be in the third quarter. Around then it will be the third quarter, so September-ish we're going to see this bill come out. It's only an estimate. So what is going to be in this bill? Well, there's going to be a change to section 21. We knew it was all coming and it's going to happen soon. Now we don't know exactly when the change is, but from my understanding it's going to be implemented pretty much straight away. So in autumn this year, section 21 will be abolished. Now in the reform they are going to be changing section 8. So section 8 and section 21, let me explain what those things are. So section 21 is basically a non-fault eviction claim. So a landlord can kick out a tenant for absolutely no reason other than he wants them to move out. He could want them to move out because he wants to increase the rent. He could want them to move out because he wants to refurb the property. He could want them to move out because he wants a friend to move in. So absolutely no valid reason why the tenant has to be kicked out. The landlord can kick them out under section 21. That's going to be abolished. It's going to be taken away. Section 21 is not going to exist soon. So how do you get tenants out? Under section 8. So section 8 is currently in force. Now section 8 that is currently in force is a long-winded process to get people out of the property. You can get them out of the property, but you need to have evidence, you need to go through court proceedings, and it takes months and months on end. Generally, it takes a minimum of 8 weeks, and I've heard cases where it can take up to 6 to 8 months. So you don't really want to kick someone out under section 8 because you know it's going to take months and months to get them out of the property. Currently under section 8, the rules are that you can kick someone out if they are not paying rent, if they're causing nuisance to the neighbourhood, or if they're causing damage to the property. Obviously if they're causing damage to the property and not paying rent, you want them out quicker than 8 weeks. You want them out yesterday. So this is really not a suitable system where they can take months to get the person out of your property. So we need to change that system. So they're going to be changing that system apparently. We don't know what they're going to be implementing, but the courts are slow. They're very complicated and they're difficult for both landlords and tenants to navigate. So there will be a reform to this and how bailiffs can get involved and how quick they can get involved. And hopefully under section 8 you will just have to provide evidence and it might not go to court and there'll be like a pre-court judgment. But we don't know exactly what the reform is going to bring in. This is what we're hoping for in the rental sector. They're also planning on changing the ground rent rules. So when there is a property which is put a new lease on it, there are not going to be increases in ground rent so that you start off paying, at the moment people can start off paying £10 a month, and in 5 years time they can be paying £500 a month. There's no limit currently. So they're going to be putting a limit on ground rent, or even there talks about demolishing ground rent altogether, so there will be no ground rent and there'll be only a maintenance charge which will literally cover the costs of repairs to the block of flats or whatever the building may be. Now that's a very good thing they're going to be bringing in. I think they should have brought it in a long time ago. So the other things that I see that they are going to be doing is they are going to be doing things like Wales has done. Now what Wales has done in their rental reform, what they're talking about doing is extending minimum tenancies. Now if they're getting rid of section 21, they've effectively extended minimum tenancies because it's very difficult to get them out unless you have a good reason to. So effectively, unless the tenant wants to leave, and if they're not causing problems, you can't get them out. So they're pretty much protecting tenants. Now they need to protect landlords as well. I don't know how they're going to implement that, but they will somehow. So my issue with the section 8 and not the section 21 is that at the moment, if you want to move back into your property, you can kick the tenant out under section 21. If you want a friend to move into the property or a family member because they're in very difficult times, you can kick the tenant out under section 21. Obviously with the 2 months notice minimum period. In Wales it's going up to 6 months, and in COVID-19 it's also 6 months. So this is one thing, but you can't move back into your property or sell your property under Section 8 rules unless it was written in the tenancy agreement. So they need to reform Section 8 so that you can, if your circumstances change and you need to downsize or move location for any reason, you can move into your property that is yours and kick the tenant out. At the moment, the only way you can move into your property and kick the tenant out is if you wrote it in the rental agreement when you set up the rental agreement, which makes it very difficult for landlords who didn't think they were ever going to move back to be able to move back. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, whack that bell notification icon to get notified of videos coming out each and every week. Don't forget, stay informed in the property industry because regulations, rules, systems and everything else in the property industry is constantly changing. It changes on a weekly and monthly basis. So if you're not up to date, you might have a rule which comes in which stings you if you do something wrong, or you might get stuck in an agreement, a tenancy agreement or another agreement which you cannot get out of. So make sure you subscribe, stay up to date and keep watching.